Hey Huntington Cross Country, several of you have asked for the warm-up that we did at the clinic, so I'm gonna take you through the warm-up, but I'm not really gonna explain each pose the way that I did at the clinic. This way we can move through it a little bit faster and it'll be more like you would at an everyday warm-up. The thing you need to remember is pay attention to your feet, keep them facing forward pay attention if they're facing forward as often as you can. And of course, we're hitting 90-degree angles everywhere, right? We're trying to align our ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders. So let's get to it. So first things first, we're gonna start lying on our back. Legs straight out, and just notice how your feet fall. So notice if one foot is in, one foot is out, if they're both facing up, if they wanna go in, go out, that's it. Now, feet, everything at feet flat on the ground, knees towards the ceiling. And we're just gonna take left ankle over right knee or right over left, it doesn't matter. Press that left knee away and then bring the right leg up into your figure four. So hands are at a low V, everything's at 90 degrees. So you may wanna look up and notice your right foot. If it's pulled in, you want to make sure it's 90 degrees out from your hip. And then you're pulling your right knee in and you're pushing your left knee out. So we're strengthening our right hip flexor and we're stretching that left hip. So just breathe into that. And come on down. Put the feet both flat on the floor. And we're gonna switch sides. So press the right knee away, pull the left leg up, everything at 90 degrees, both feet flexed, back flat on the ground, shoulders relaxed, pressing that right knee away and pulling the left knee in towards your body. But again, everything at 90 degrees. So make sure you're not pulling your left knee in over 90-degree angles. So sometimes you may realize like, oh, this hip flexor isn't strong enough. You may have to just gently place your hands to support that, hands behind the thigh to support that left leg, but make sure you're not using the strength of your arms to pull in. You're just supporting. But ideally, both hands in a low V, in a low W, or even as you get stronger, you can interlace your hands and put them over your head. But just make sure your shoulders are away from your ears and your back's still flat on the ground. So when you've had enough of that, come on out of it. Both feet down. You're gonna switch again. So left ankle over right knee. Hands straight out in a T, palms facing down. And we're just gonna let the right knee fall. As the left knee presses away and you turn your head. I'm gonna turn my head toward you so you can still hear me, but you're turning your head away and looking at your left hand. And you'll notice as you breathe in, everything expands. And as you breathe out, you're deepening that twist just a little bit. Stretching your arms a little further, pressing that left knee away just a little more. And go ahead and come on up. And we're just gonna switch sides. So you may have to readjust your body, make sure everything's in alignment, feet still facing forward. And then palms down, arms straight out, cross right leg over left, and down we go. Stretching as far as you can out in your hands. Pressing that right knee away, making sure that your right foot, the foot that has contact with the ground, get that foot as flat as you can get it while still pressing the right knee away. Great big inhale, deepen the twist on the exhale. And then go ahead and come on up. Both feet flat on the ground, and we're actually gonna stretch ourselves out now just to lie flat on your back with your legs extended. So go ahead and flex both legs so that your quads are nice and tight, your feet are flexed up, your hands are in a low V, and lift your right leg as high as it can go, keeping it straight. We're gonna count to 3, and then everything at 90-degree angles, pressing that left leg to the ground. We're gonna do ankle circles, 15 one way, 15 the other way, and 15 point flexes. Make sure everything stays at 90s. You're pressing into that leg on the ground, keeping everything tight while relaxing your belly and your shoulders and your face. And when you're done with that, we're just going to switch sides. So you can take a breath and relax, and then flex everything nice and tight. Lift the left leg as high as it can go while keeping it straight. And then bend everything at 90s, and we do the same thing on the other side. Pressing into that bottom leg. Relaxing around the work. And then when you're done with that, come on down. And now we're going to do a couple pelvic tilts. So feet flat on the floor, knees toward the ceiling. Let's start with a flat back. So start if you can. Your pelvis may not be in a position where your back is flat on the floor, but ideally you want to start with the small of your back flat on the ground. You can keep your arms in a low V or in a low W. And on an inhale, we're going to arch and tilt your hip bones out towards your knees. And on an exhale, you're going to round and tilt your hip bones up toward your shoulders. So you're just going to follow your breath here about 6 times, 10 if you need it. Pay attention to your feet. Make sure they're facing straight forward. It's hard to tell when I'm looking at the camera, so I may have to get up and look at my feet. Yep, facing forward. So arch on the inhale, round on the exhale, keeping your neck long, your shoulders flat on the ground. And now that we've got your pelvis back to neutral, hands flat on the ground, palms down. You can bring your feet in just slightly, still facing straight ahead, but maybe just a little bit closer to your butt. And we're gonna lift up, and as you lift up, you're gonna press into your shoulders, which will naturally push you back a little bit so that your legs are at a 90. So once you're up here in a low bridge, hips as high as you can get them, you can interlace your hands and tuck your shoulders under you to give yourself just a little bit more height. So we're gonna hold this as long as we can. We're gonna press your chest up into your chin and then release your chin up to the ceiling. Breathing, noticing the weight even in your feet. Doing your best to keep everything at 90s. Usually people have a tendency for their legs to splay out, so make sure that you're imagining like a block or a roll of paper towels or something between your legs that you're just holding there. Relax your neck and shoulders. Lift your hips just a little bit higher. And when you're ready, release your hands. Roll everything down. Go ahead and squeeze your knees into your chest, but keep your back flat on the ground. So just feel everything come into alignment as you sort of compress on your hips and really elongate your back. And then just for fun, we're gonna roll up and down a couple of times. Give your back a massage, and when you're ready, come onto your hands and knees. So remember, hands and knees, Shoulders over elbows shoulders over elbows over wrists, knees over hips, feet straight back. We're gonna do arch on the inhale, round on the exhale, arch on the inhale, round on the exhale. We're gonna arch on the inhale. On the exhale, turn your toes under and lift your butt straight up to the sky, pressing your shoulders down and away from the ears. So you can imagine you're pressing your armpits down towards the ground, and notice your feet. Notice if they are going turned in or turned out. Point your toes directly at your armpits or at your hands. So with this, you don't have to keep your legs straight like me. Your knees might be bent. The goal is to have your back be as flat as possible. You want to spread the back of the shoulders, back of the neck. So keep your back as flat as possible, which means lifting your sitting bones up towards the sky. Expanding across the back, and you can do that by pressing your armpits down. Relax your neck. Straighten your legs if you can, pressing your heels down as close to the ground as you can get them. And then slowly we're gonna walk our feet towards our hands, and maybe our hands back towards your feet just a little bit. Keep a slight bend in your legs, and you're just gonna hang. So you can see I'm grasping opposite elbows, letting my body hang. Can even sway side to side. But importantly in the hang, feet hip distance apart, toes facing forward. So if you're super bendy, you can straighten your legs. You can even play with that, straightening your legs and then bending them a little bit. If you've got the room, you can place your hands right under your feet. Just relax. You're using the weight of your body to stretch your hamstrings, but whatever feels comfortable in the hang. When you're done with that, we're gonna roll on up. And then I'm gonna move back a little bit so you can see me. We're moving into, actually you still can't see me, but that's all right. We're moving into warrior twos. So arms straight out. Keep everything in alignment. So hips stay underneath the shoulders. So not leaning forward yet. Arms straight out. And then left arm to left knee. Top arm either straight up or bent at 90 degrees. But what you're wanting to make sure is that your chest, you're pointing your heart up as high as you can get it. Imagine yourself against a wall. So everything that could touch the wall is touching the wall. Imagine your back of your ankle touching the wall, the back of your knee touching the wall, back of your thigh, your butt, your shoulders, the back of your hand. Or if you've got your hand at an angle above you, even the palm of your hand, as much of your body as you can, imagine touching that wall behind you. If you might even be able to reach your hand down, but without collapsing in your chest, keeping your heart up. And then come on up. We're switching to the other side, keeping everything at 90 degrees. Pelvis aligned. And over right elbow to right knee. Arm extends up. Again, imagine everything that could be on that wall behind you. On that wall behind you. Shoulders, back of the knee. You want to have stability in this leg that's at 90 degrees. So it's not leaning in, it's not leaning out. You're nice and stable. And this takes practice. You might shake, you might sweat. When you're done with that, come on out. We're gonna do a nice squat, so I'm gonna actually adjust the camera. So that's a little bit better. So feet facing hip distance apart, straight ahead. The goal with this is to not to let your feet move. So keeping your feet straight ahead, we're just gonna squat down. Now the trick on the squat, making sure your knees don't go in front of your toes. So you wanna be reaching for a chair behind you, like you've got a friend that's pulling your chair out and they keep pulling it a little bit further out. And then you can play with the arms. But we want to be focusing on those 90-degree angles. So notice if your legs want to go out or they want to go in. Try and keep everything in 90s. And again, this takes practice. But really pay attention to those feet. And hold this as long as you can with good form. And go ahead and stand it up. Extend your arms above your head. You can look up. Allow your arms to come on down. I'm rolling my neck for a second. And then just imagine every muscle in the front of your body zipping up. So lifting everything in the front of your body and allowing everything in the back of your body to zip down. So lengthening everything down the back of your body. Notice when you did that, how your pelvis may have shifted. So zipping up the front of the body, zipping down the back of the body. And now you're ready to run. Go ahead and put your shoes on.